This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV.com, and I'm with two-time WWE Women's Champion Jazz, who is in Texas right now. We had her husband Rodney Mack on recently. How are you doing tonight?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Very good. Just got back from a good workout at the gym. I understand you're still training people.
Yes, I am. Having a blast with it, man. We got some awesome girls here in San Antonio and actually in the state of Texas, period. And we're just thrilled to be working with them.
And as far as your athletic background, did you play any sports before you got into wrestling?
Yeah, I played quite a bit of sports. I played basketball. I ran track. I played softball. I actually had a basketball scholarship.
Really? What school did you play at?
I actually didn't get to play. I tore my ACL my senior year, and when I got to school, they had me rehabbing, and me being young, they had no clue what all that was. I never been injured before, and they just had me just rehabbing, and I was annoyed because I wanted to play ball, so I got pissed and I quit.
Were you a wrestling fan at all growing up?
Yeah, heck yeah. Growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, watching Memphis wrestling every Saturday morning. Huge fan of wrestling.
Did you ever go down to the Mid South Coliseum? Did you ever go down to the Coliseum in Memphis to watch it?
Of course I did. I had to take my little nephews to the studio on Saturday morning. So, yeah, we went Monday nights, man. Heck yeah.
What was that like in those days? Because that's one of the hottest territories that there ever was.
Well, the hottest days, I was still a little bit too young to really know and understand, the fan base of it, but I knew I was having fun. But once I got older and started driving and driving myself and my cousins, we was just there to kick it and have fun.
What was the women's wrestling scene like back then?
Well, we had Jacqueline there, Miss Texas. She was
Okay.
the kick ass. Yeah, she was the kick ass lady. But we had Sweet Georgia Brown. We had quite a few women coming through there. Almost everybody you can name came through there. Scary Sherry, Luna Vachon. I mean, they all came through Memphis. Anybody on the WWE WWF era in the '80s came through Memphis.
Now, as far as your training, what made you decide, okay, I'm going to become a pro wrestler?
What made me decide to become a pro wrestler?
Yes.
One of my homeboys kind of approached me with the idea because again, he knew I was, pretty athletic, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna get on TV and look like a damn fool, because we used to have a kick watching Saturday morning wrestling, every Saturday. So, but anyway, he bribed me and got me out there. I went to Don Bass's school in Arkansas. I banged my head a few times. I said, heck with that. That's not for me. So I quit that. And I was like, man, why don't I just try to be a manager? I can come out, get the crowd hype, So I end up doing that for a little while until a promoter approached me and said, if you want to wrestle, you want to train, Junkyard Dog is in Louisiana, has a school out there. So I thought about it and I went home and told my Dad, I'm going to Louisiana to train to be a wrestler. And the rest is history.
What was the Junkyard Dog like? He's a WWE Hall of Famer, of course, one of the all time greats.
Dog is one of a kind. Dog was all about making money. He was all business 24/7. And business for him meant making money. I mean, we stopped to get gas at a gas station. I guarantee he'll make $200 there taking pictures at the gas station. So he was a hustler. It was just a business for him, and that's what he taught us. Rodney and I, majority was just the business aspect of it. Like know who you are, know your value, and know how to protect yourself and your name, and just basic the business aspect of it.
Was he over his personal demons by that point in time?
Yeah, he had some, challenging times, but at the end of the day, no matter where he was at, I mean, he was the crowd's favorite. JYD, JYD. Hell, he still was kicking ass and taking names and making money.
Were you training with men during your training, or was there some
Yes.
other females there?
No, there was no other women. No, no. And honestly, with Dog, I think only wrestling I learned from Dog was probably some roles, and then another guy came in the picture, Rugged Rod Price. He came in the picture and he told me, you know, you said, I know you've been having fun, being a manager, but if you really want to make money, kid, you're gonna have to wrestle. And that's what he put me out there. They trained me for like 5 hours on a Friday and threw me out having a match the next day against Debbie Combs.
Wow, what was that like being thrown in
Well,
there?
I'll tell you what, that was probably the one and only time I literally got my ass kicked. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yep, that's one time I can proudly say that I got my ass handed to me. But I tell you what, after that I said this is gonna be the first and the final time. So I really going to put in some time, So the next time I approached her, well, next time we had a match, I said, yeah, I'm a little bit better than I was last time. So I was ready.
Because there was a lot less women in wrestling at that time, were they more protective of their positions?
Um, no, not really. Who are you talking about? The men or the women?
The women, because usually there would only be like one women's match on a show, so like some women could be bitches, I'm sure. I don't
Well,
know.
honestly, the little time I was on the Indies back then, because I was only on the Indies for like 6 to 8 months before I got with ECW. So I'd only had like maybe maybe 8, 9, 10 matches top, and that's really saying a lot if I had 10 matches before I got with ECW.
Wow, so you were brought in there very quickly. Was that through Rodney? I guess you guys may were
Rod
a couple.
Price. Rod was working with them. He was one of the baldies at the time, and he told us, "Hey guys, ECW is going to be doing a loop here in Louisiana. Why don't y'all come and do a tryout?" And so the rest is history.
What did that tryout consist of? Them just watching you before, or
No, having a match. I had to have a match against Jason Knight, my
on the
tryout
show?
match. Right before, no, before the show, and the entire roster surrounded the ring and watched us have our match. And I mean, they were into it. They was hitting the mat. Oh my god. And I can't even tell you the feeling I had at the time. I had so many damn butterflies floating through my guts.
How was Paul Heyman to deal with? Was he the one that actually hired you?
Yes. Yes. After the match, I rolled out, ran to the nearest restroom, puked my guts out, and I'm trying to just gather myself. And Rodney runs in there looking for me. He's like, "Hey, come on, Paulie's looking for you. Paulie's looking for you." So I had to try to hurry up and clean my face, rinse my mouth out, and go out there. And Paul was like, "Where in the hell did you come from?" And that's it. He told me he had a spot for me, and at the time, Chastity was going with Sandman to WCW, so they brought me in to take her out in Philly, the ECW arena, and that was it. That's how I got my start with ECW.
What was the schedule like in those days? Did it become your full time job?
Yes, yes, it was strictly weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but yeah, that was my job because I was during the week I was focusing on training, so like I just told you, I only trained for like 8 months. So I had a lot of, shit to try to shove down my throat to so I can prepare for the for ECW. But I don't give a damn how much you prepare. You just that's like on the job training with them. You just gotta go in there and just hey, take it as they give it, you know?
And you were part of the Impact Players group there with Lance Storm, Just Incredible, and
Yeah.
I think Jason Knight was also involved in that. How was that experience?
It was awesome. First of all, just being with them alone, they were great leaders, and they most definitely looked after me and took care of me on the road and far as uh, spots for the matches. They made sure that I was going to have me a spot in every match. But of course, that's how ECW was. If you were out there, you were going to be involved in some shape or form. So they made sure that I was going to shine.
How was Lance Storm to work with?
Huh?
How was Lance Storm to work with?
Lance Storm was awesome. Again, like I said, just being part of the entourage, hell, we was entourage, so we were gonna shine regardless. So it was all good.
Just Incredible is an interesting person. How was he to work with? I know you're just part of the entourage, but I'm sure you had some experiences with him.
Yeah, just a big brother. They all just it was one big family. There were no egos in ECW. No egos. So I didn't experience any. I have no bad stories. All I have is good stories with ECW. So if you're looking for me, some dirt, I have no dirt.
So you never had any pay issues, I guess, then.
Well, I mean, hell, if I did, I wasn't the only one. Hell, we was a team. Shit. So, we all struggled together. So it wasn't like, Jason Knight got a check and I didn't get a check. Hell, we all was sitting up there broke. So, hell, we all were like in the same boat, just praying that the checks cleared.
Chris is asking what your favorite Cajun food dish is with all the time you spent in Louisiana.
Gumbo, of course. I love me some gumbo, and I can make some pretty damn good gumbo myself.
Did you ever run into Akeem, aka the One Man Gang, down there? He's still.
Yeah, when the few months we were there before ECW, that's who we broke in with. I mean, our locker room consists of One Man Gang, Grizzly Smith, which is Jake the Snake's father, Sputnik Monroe, Bubba Monroe, Sam Houston, Charlie. Oh my God, like those were the guys who we broke into business with. Those were the people in our locker room. So that's I guess that's why we're still so old school. I guess because that's just how it was brought in.
And I guess you got signed by WWE once ECW closed down.
Yeah, I mean it didn't happen overnight. Of course, I had saw Tommy Dreamer. We had moved to Texas by then, Rodney and I, and saw Dreamer at an indie show up there in Texas somewhere, and he told me, "Hey, I'm gonna reach out to Paul and tell Paul to man hook it up for you to have a tryout." And so he did, and I went out there. I worked Ivor in a dark match, and shit, we had a blast and tore the house down. They said it was probably one of the best response they had in the ladies match in a long time. So it was awesome.
Was it Johnny Ace that called you up to tell you you were signed at that time?
Who?
John Laurinaitis, would he have been the
Yep.
talent guy?
Yep. He called me. Said, "I don't know who you are, kid, but I hear good stuff about you. But yeah, most definitely interested in you. And your contracts is in the mail. You should have it by tomorrow."
So when you were sent to developmental, would that have been Ohio Valley Wrestling?
Yes. Correct. Yeah. Uh-huh.
What was that experience like? I guess you were there the same time as Rodney.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were there with like with all the heavy hitters, Brock, Randy Orton, Batista, Ron Waterman, Rico. Shit, I mean, you name them. Yeah, Lashley, Renee Dupree. Man, Rob Conway, Nick Dinsmore. We were there with we were there with all those guys. Yeah, but the only thing with them, I didn't get up to be a part of their TV program because they told me I was just out there to get the ring rust out before they brought me up to TV. So Cornette, you know how he is with storylines. He's like, Jazz, I can't do shit with you because they tell me they ain't gonna keep you here long. So I'm sorry, but I can't do shit with you. So I just kind of trained and just chilled and watched the shows and laughed at Cornette throwing shit. That's what I did.
I guess you notice a couple of his famous temper tantrums.
Oh, every week, every week, yes, yes. Like that was worth going right there, just to watch him go out and tear up some shit.
I'm surprised he hasn't had a heart attack yet with the amount of tantrums he has and how he's so out of shape, too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that just show you how passionate he is about it. It's like, and he take the time out to write his TV and all that. And if you go out there and you mess it up, hell, he let you know about it.
You have a fan on here saying, thanks for all your matches. You're the greatest female wrestler of all time, in his opinion. That's Alan saying
Thank
that.
you, Alan. Thank you.
So you were brought up to the Survivor Series for your debut. What was that like? Got to be a little bit nerve-wracking.
Oh my God, nerve-wracking. I mean, all the adjectives you can think of. That's what was going through my veins and my body and my mind. Just it's so different, and they just brought me up and was like, "Hey, this is what you're gonna do." Like I didn't go up there. I didn't travel the weekend and get to know everybody, get a feel of everything. Hell, they just brought me up there strictly for that and threw me out there.
And what was Trish Stratus like to work with? You were put right into an angle with her.
Oh, Trish was awesome. We most definitely had great chemistry. It didn't start off that way, It's just like anybody else. You put in the ring for the first time, But we both understood our role. First of all, I had never worked heel because in ECW I worked babyface. So when they told me I was going to be a heel, I was like, oh shit, I've never done this. So I had to go back and study film and watch all kind of film, to try to get an idea, a concept of, how a heel acts and react and portray their characters. And I just went out there on the whim, man, and shit, and did it. And lo and behold, that was it.
And of course, you won the women's title a couple of times. Were you shocked when they told you the first time you were taking the title?
Yeah, of course, you're shocked, because I mean, that was my ultimate goal to go there and become women's champion. But when you're told and at a short period of time that I was there, yeah, I was shocked and I was just telling myself, hell, this is my time and it's my time to shine. Just don't fuck it up. And just try to go out there and be the best women's champion I could possibly be.
And you appeared at WrestleMania successfully defending your title against Lita and Trish. Any memories of that WrestleMania?
Is that the one they put us in there after The Rock and Hogan?
I think it was WrestleMania 18, yeah, in Toronto.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fucked up spot they put us in, and they knew what they were doing, but the girls, we just made our mind up and like, you know what, they setting us up like this. Let's still go out there and do what we do. We worked hard to get here, and just go out there and prove to them that we deserve more. And that's what it was all about, just to show that we wasn't just tits and ass. We want to be taken seriously, and that's what that's the point we was trying to prove.
Well, they made a huge mistake not closing the show with Rock and Hogan because nothing could follow that.
Exactly. Like, why? But it's all good.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
all good. You know what? When you go to Mania, you really don't give a damn what spot you put in. You're there. So that means you belong there. You deserve to be there. So it's all good.
David wanted me to ask you, how did Rodney pop the question?
Which question?
Well, obviously the proposal, I guess.
Yeah. We had actually moved. We were in ECW. We had actually moved to New York, and we went shopping. I think I wanted to get my hair braided or something. So I'm over there and I found some Jamaicans or something to do my hair. And while I'm sitting in the chair getting my hair braided, he went out and got a ring. And when we went back to the house, it was chilling, laying back, just had dinner and everything. And that's when he popped the question.
Now, you had a match with Bubba Ray Dudley for the hardcore title. Who proposed that idea? Was it just you show up at TV and the writers come up to you to
I
say,
don't basically. I don't know who in the heck came up with that idea. I mean, again, you know, when you're there, it's all about being on TV. You know what I mean? So it was like I was still gonna be able to have my opportunity to be on TV, get another payday. So I just like said, heck with it, whatever. Just go out there and make the best of it. The match still
now,
got over, so it's all good.
I know Rodney told us he didn't get along too well with Bubba. Was your experience a little bit better?
Yeah, and Rodney always tell you he have these stories, and I'd be like, damn. He's like, but baby, you never had to experience that. Like you never had to go through the shit that I had to go through. And he's correct. I didn't. Even the time in ECW, I was. I was. It was just. It was just. It was different for the both of us. It was different.
He mentioned there was a couple times there was some guys being inappropriate with you, and he had to say something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean vaguely because I mean again I wasn't paying no attention to that shit. I don't know if they were doing that just to see how he was going to react or what. But one thing about Rodney, he ain't no damn punk now. He ain't gonna no, he ain't about being disrespected at all. So
Now I
so
know
he don't care who it is.
he told us he wouldn't do an angle like they recently, before they fired Rusev, they had Lana making out with Bobby Lashley on top of him. Do you find that it's appropriate to ask married couples to do that type of stuff? And then,
Yeah, and why? Why? You know what I mean? Like you trying to cause tension in between a home or what? You know what I mean? I remember when we were there in WWE, they had an idea. This is when Lita was dating Matt, and they had an idea for Lita to somewhat, I guess, have an affair with Jeff and wanted Lita to kiss Jeff on TV and all that shit. And they told him no. And Vince took him off TV for a while. It's just like, man, it's not cool at all. Not cool at all.
well, they ended up firing Rusev after doing that to him too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why? It's just not cool. I mean, but he'll tell you there's nothing he won't do. Vince will tell you that. He told us that. There's nothing he will not do for his TV. So
There's some
that's him.
fans on. Sorry, what were you saying?
I
That
was
there's
just saying,
nothing he won't
this
do.
is how Vince is. Vince is just strictly business. He don't give a fuck about your feelings, your grandmama, your mama, your daddy, So it's just business with him.
Shatter Clan was wondering if you had any memories of Chris Benoit.
Just being a genuine guy, always, just there for anything you need, any type of advice for in life or match or move or spot or whatever. He was just that kind of guy. So I have nothing but good and fond memories of Benoit. That's why that shit really shocked me, and I still just can't. I still today I don't believe he did it because I just remember how he was with his family. Well, in public. Now, what goes behind closed doors, I don't know. I don't know. But in front of everybody, he was a family man. He loved his kid. He loved his wife. I remember his kid walking around in his wrestling boots and he had tape around his wrist. It's just that's the memories I have.
Walter wants to know if you ever met Road Warrior Animal, who unfortunately passed away a couple days ago.
Yes, of course, many, many times. Actually, we're working together in SWE here in Texas. Like I just saw the man last month. We were just together like less than a month ago.
So you were
In
probably as
fact,
shocked
I
as
took a
all of
picture
us.
with him and Boogeyman together. The three of us, me, Animal, and Boogeyman.
As far as Eddie Guerrero, Jan is asking any memories of him.
Not really. Memory again, very nice guy, always willing to help, love like him and Benoit both. They just love giving advice, and you go to them for a question, they for sure had an answer for you, how to make this better, what you can do to make that better.
Did
Great
you have
guys.
much contact with New Jack when you were in ECW? Someone's asking.
Hell yeah, that was my brother. Yeah, that was my brother, big brother. Yep.
Is there a lot of work in some of the stories about him?
Not really. No, I mean New Jack is like what you see is what you get. He ain't fake, he ain't phony. He's just it's what you see is what you get. But you don't know what New Jack he gonna get. He might be in a good mood, New Jack. He might be in a shitty mood, New Jack. But either way, he was cool with me. So no matter what, we got along. So I ain't never had no issues with him.
And as far as your feud with Victoria, any memories of that?
I was just pissed that feud really didn't get to go anywhere. It actually was supposed to, but it got kiboshed. Politics and shit. But that's another story. But yeah, I just hate. I think Victoria and I could have really made money together for sure.
And Molly Holly is one of the nice people in the business. You worked with her.
Molly, yeah, I traveled with Nora a little bit, on the road, and she's cooler than a fan, man. Like, she's about just going to her town. She's the type of person she liked to go sightseeing, and she would find a church in towns where we would go. It's like, Jazz, you want to go to church in the morning? I said, no, boo, I'm gonna sleep in. Just say a prayer for me, but I need to get some rest.
Now, before you won your second title, they put you with Teddy Long, who I'm going to be interviewing on here pretty soon. Any memories of working with him?
Man, I think that was history made right there. I don't think Teddy had ever worked with any other woman, that wrestled. So, that's history. People don't talk about it, but truth be told, that was a history making moment there. And I believe what we had was actually shit freaking awesome.
And you ended up eventually losing that title in a battle royal. I think that Gail Kim won.
But I technically did not go over the top. So I did not lose the title. I was injured, so that was a way of them taking me out. And Finley came up with that idea. It's like, Jazz, we're gonna have you just go under the ring, through the second rope or the bottom rope or something. I forgot how it went. He's like, so technically, you wouldn't lose the belt. So when you come back, there's your storyline. So
But
I
you
never lost
ended
the belt.
okay. But when you were injured, when you came back, they ended up putting you with Rodney as his manager, right? They didn't put you back in.
Yeah. That's when they were saying, and then they had no ideas. Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
I guess you probably think they could have done a lot more with you guys when they put you guys together. A lot of
Yeah.
people feel about
Yep. But you know what it was? We were over, and we wasn't kiss ass type people, and they just they didn't know what to do or what to say around us because we spoke up for ourselves, and we wasn't gonna do any dumb shit, and we wasn't gonna allow them to talk to us, disrespect us any kind of way, so if they're the type of people, once you start getting over, they try to pull that rug from underneath because they don't want you to have power. Once you get power, then you turn into a Brock Lesnar.
it. How did you get along with him? I'm sure you knew him back from.
Yeah, Brock was cool. Like I said, everybody was cool. Shit, everybody just focused on themselves, trying to trying to get the hell out of Kentucky to get on TV so they could move or to everywhere they wanted to live.
Now, when they released you and Rodney at the same time, were you surprised?
Very surprised, pissed off, upset, like how and why, that like there was no reason behind it. Trish called me. She was like, she didn't even understand it. But that's just how shit goes, man. It's just one of those things. And I tell everybody I deal with out here, and all the girls I work with, I'm like, first of all, you got to be at the right place at the right time. You never know. Y'all got to always be ready. But once you get there, you gotta focus on staying there, because they can let you go at any given time. It ain't about you ain't good enough. God knows it ain't about that all the time, because they can't look me in my face and tell me I wasn't good enough. In fact, when Johnny called me, he was speechless. He didn't know what to say, because he used to always say, "Jazz, you're one of the best female wrestlers I've ever seen, and you'll forever have a job." He told me that on numerous of times. But
I guess they didn't have an answer. They didn't tell you why.
no, it didn't. He nope, nope, not at all. And I didn't
So,
ask, and I didn't try to ask why either. It is what it is.
from that first run, is there any match that stands out to you as your favorite match? You had so many.
I had quite a few, man, but a match that stands out, I guess, WrestleMania 18, going in as a champ, walking out as a champ. The first Black African American woman to do that. So that's gonna always be my fondest memory.
And you're also the last WWF Women's Champion and
And
first
the
WWE.
first WWE, yep.
Now, as far as what you did during that period of time before WWE brought you back, was it just independent shows or did you
Yeah.
do? Yeah. I understand you started your own league too.
Yeah. Down South Championship Wrestling. We had that in Louisiana. Ron and I, that's where he's from. And we just went back trying to give back. There were so many guys out there not given opportunities, and, they wanted to wrestle. So, we opened a school and, just polished them up a little bit, and just started running shows. And hell, we did actually pretty damn good. Pretty damn good with that.
I heard that you wrestled April Hunter during that period of time. How was
Yeah,
that?
cyberspace, NWA cyberspace.
Was that a good match?
Yeah, I mean, it won't go down as one of my top favorite, but yeah, we had good matches. We had decent matches. Yeah, she was cool to work with. Again, that's when she was dating, oh my God, what's his name? Mm. Oh, man. The guy that she had issues with that supposedly beat her up, pretty bad. Um,
I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it's right here, the tip of my tongue, but I just can't. I can't get it off.
I see. Well, I know she's got bigger problems now. I think she has a breast implant that needs fixing or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I
Oh
seem to
yeah.
recall there's like a GoFundMe for her or something.
Oh wow. I haven't seen that. April's one of those girls. She was one of the first girls for me to know to market the hell out of herself. Like, she made money off the indies. You know what I mean? Like a living. I ain't gonna say made money. She made a living. And some people say, how she did it wasn't all good, but you know what? Her business, her money, she survived. Hell, she did the damn thing. So, you know, she's cool.
Now, WWE strangely brought you back for a very short period of time. I guess you probably weren't surprised that they called you back because you were surprised that they released you. But
Yeah.
any memories of that run, which was basically
Yeah, with the ECW, yeah, they brought me back. They had me doing a run in on Kelly Kelly, which she was in a damn bikini, and when I run in and slam her ass down, the crowd popped, and they had something to say about that, like, you're getting a pop, you're supposed to be a heel, but I'm like, fuck, that's ECW, that's where Jazz. That was the birth of Jazz in ECW. So they're gonna pop for anything. But again, it is what it is, bro. It
Yeah, it
is what
seems
it
they
is.
didn't give you a fair chance, you or Rodney, in that run.
No, they didn't. No, because some people they have no choice but to push. So instead of doing what's right, they find a reason to get rid of you, and that's just how they are.
There's a fan on here, strictly hip hop. I don't know if you've seen this, but back, I think around 2006-ish, Booker T was in an angle where Vince said the N word with an A on the end. Did you ever see that? He's asking, and what did you think about it?
No, never saw it. Never saw it. The only kind of thing I recall was we had a meeting about it. I think it was Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday or something, and somebody said, "So what's the big deal? Just another dead black guy or something." So that sparked up a lot of tension, and they had a meeting about that, and so that was the only thing I recall.
And after your second WWE release, you had a lot of success in Shine Wrestling.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of your matches there and championships?
Oh yeah, wrestled Evilise. Oh God, Jasmine, Mercedes. Shit. Who else? I wrestled Saraya, which is Paige's mom, with her crazy ass. She tried to suplex me on a bar table, man. I was like, oh hell no! I had to block that and suplex her ass. I'm like, this lady is crazy. she she tried to strip me off into an ATM. Julia is a nut, man, but she's so much fun. Like it was a blast working with her. But I had fun working with everybody. I worked Sarah Del Rey, her last match over there before she actually went to the performance center. I wrestled shit. I wrestled a lot of girls there at my time I was there, so it was fun.
Did you ever encounter Taylor Hendricks on the independent scene in a match or anything?
No, I never worked her. She was there, but I never worked her. You know what really I sit back and I think back to those days, like Sue Young. Sue Young was so different back then. I'm like, oh my God. She had on a little cute outfit, a little white wrestling boots, and now you see it, you're like, holy shit. Two different people.
I interviewed a British female wrestler the other day, Heidi Katrina.
Yeah.
Said that she really looks up to you. Do you have any
Yes.
thoughts about her?
Yeah, when I was the NWA Women's World Champion, I went over to Japan and worked her over there for the NWA title, and she was a blast to work with. We had so much fun. I mean, they worked the shit out of us, didn't let us rest much, but we made the best out of it. We had a blast doing karaoke and shit, man. I tell you, them Japanese can drink, dude.
There's a fan on here wondering what you think of the Glow Netflix series that had a lot of popularity. I think they're in their last season now.
Yeah, I loved it. I watched like the first season. Then after that, I kind of like got busy and kind of missed everything. I'm going to go back and check it out. I forgot. Yeah, we binge watched every damn thing during this pandemic. I forgot about that one, but I loved it. I was a huge fan of it. Just never got to finish it.
And I read that in Shakira, you had a match involving Mickey James.
In
How was she
Victoria.
to work with?
Man, I've been knowing Mickey James since she was like probably 20 years old. I knew Mickey James when she first started. Been knowing her for a long time. In fact, I mean, a lot of those girls used to come to WWE for tryouts and stuff and work out, and I would be one of the first ones getting the ring and work out with all of them. ODB, Mickey James, cheerleader Melissa. Shit, anybody that came through the doors, I get in the ring and work out with them. You can ask any of them that.
Yeah, I'm actually interviewing cheerleader Melissa next week. Have you ever actually had a match with her?
Yes, I believe I had one match with her. I think maybe it was in Canada. No, I don't know. It's been, dude. over the years, I've had a shitload of matches.
Oh yes.
I can't even, I can't even begin to tell you where they took place, but I can kind of remember some of the names, but I damn sure can't remember where it was.
Have you had many concussions over the years? I know that
I
your
had
husband had.
yeah, a few. Yes, yes, I have. Yeah, and they're not fun at all.
Now, as far as your AEW appearance, a lot of people remember you from that recently in a battle royal. How was
Yeah,
that experience?
that was pretty cool. Going in, being that I've been around this business for quite some time, and I knew the match was not going to be based around me at all. They already had a storyline going into it, and I understood that. Just to be a part of that, to be around the women again, just to walk down that ramp again. Shit, it was just an awesome feeling. Plus, it was like a few days before my birthday, so hell, that was a great birthday gift.
There's a fan on here wondering which of the current WWE women's wrestlers you'd most like to face in the ring.
You know what? If there's anybody I would love to have a match with, it would be Charlotte Flair. Honestly, I think her and I could. Oh my God, yeah, that's my kind of style right there. She's a worker, and I'm a worker, so yeah.
And one of the best unsigned free agents right now in all of women's wrestling is the undefeated Impact Men's Champion Tessa Blanchard. What are your thoughts on her and everything that happened with that, and where do you think she's going to end up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm out of the loop with a lot of the shit that goes on behind the scenes. But I actually was supposed to work Tessa right before the pandemic started. But shit started getting canceled, and well, I'm gonna say not before the pandemic started, right in the beginning of the pandemic. We were supposed to have a match in Arkansas somewhere, like Little Rock, Hot Springs, or some shit like that. But yeah, I most definitely I was looking forward to that because I was a huge fan of her dad's, and actually I tell him every time I see him, like, man, like I watched so many matches of him and Arn Anderson, and I studied so much of their film when I first went to WWE, and they told me I was going to be a heel. Like, that's a lot of the film that I studied was Teddy and was Tully and Arn.
There's some fans on here that say they want to see you against Thunder Rosa, but I think that actually happened in the NWA, didn't it, at one point?
Yeah, yeah. When I still had the title, yes. But it wasn't a good title match. I owe Thunder Rosa a great match. I owe that to her. But my days is pretty much over with now. I may have to. I just kind of just announced my last match here last month. And I'm working with her now with Mission. I'm an agent in the back, so I'm pretty much behind the scenes now.
There's some fans that have been asking your thoughts on Nia Jax. I don't know if some of this is exaggerated to help get her over as a heel, but she does have this reputation as being dangerous, I guess.
Well, first of all, I think that's just part of them trying to get her over as a heel. Because if she was that damn dangerous, I don't think they would keep allowing her to have matches. Like that wouldn't happen. There's too much money at stake over there. They wouldn't play those games. And not one time they sent her back to the performance center to train. Right?
Yeah, I really believe that too, that a lot of that is exaggerated for sure.
Yeah, yeah. They're not gonna let Nia go out there and just injure girls over and over again without sending her back to the performance center.
Nervins is asking if you have any advice for someone, male or female, who wants to get into the wrestling business.
Find the right school. That's what it's all about. Finding the right school. Just don't jump to anyone that's got a ring in their backyard or in a garage. And I'm not saying that's not a good place to be. I mean, you can have a ring, anywhere, but it's all about your coach, your instructor, and just know the history of your coaches and the instructor. That's what I say. Know their history. Know where they come from. Know who trained them. Know where they've been. And just go from there.
David wants to know, what are your thoughts on Bruce Pritchard?
I love him. I love him. Love
Did
him.
he produce any of your vignettes or anything when you were back there?
No, no, no. Bruce did no. I think Bruce was going through some shit when I was there.
Jay wants to know, how was Taz during your ECW run? A lot of people say he was a prick.
I ain't gonna say he was a prick. I mean, people have to understand when you one of the top talents, and you have a lot of pressure on you, and you ain't got time to be bullshitting and hee hawing in the locker room and all that shit. He was focused. He was very um he took it very seriously. He wasn't one of them that going out to the bar and drinking every night. So you have to respect that. You have to respect one's privacy and just the way they, their mindset. It is a business.
Doug wants to know if you have a favorite opponent.
Favorite opponent? No, I mean, I made my money with Trish, so I guess we'll just go down in history of being one of my favorites.
JJ Bulldog is asking if you had to pick the number one best moment from your entire career, what would it be?
I just answered that earlier. WrestleMania 18, going in as a women's champion,
And Robert wants
the
to
first
know.
African woman to ever do so.
Oh, sorry. I think there was a delay in your answer there.
Oh, I was just saying, just being the first African American woman to ever walk in as a champion, walk out as a champion at WrestleMania.
And Robert wants to know your thoughts on Francine, Chastity, and Nicole Bass.
I didn't get to know Chastity very much. Remember, I went in and took her out. Shit, so that was like her last night. Shit. But Francine, I love Francine. In fact, she's probably cussing me out now because I got to do a podcast for her. And she's been on my ass, but I was busy, with life. And now I'm just getting to where I can like set up to do these podcasts. But I got to reach out to her probably when I get off the phone with you to set up a date for her podcast. But Francine, I love her to death. Like, again, everybody in ECW, man, it's like when we see each other, it's just nothing but love. Like, we loved one another, it was just a family. I don't know why people find it hard to believe, but it was because there was no egos because everybody was going to get an opportunity to work every night. And that's all you want to do is fucking work, right? So long as you're working, you ain't got nothing to gripe about. Everybody understood their role in ECW.
You probably aren't going to say this, but David wants to know if there is anyone that you didn't like working with.
No, I work with anybody. I work with anybody. Nope, not a problem whatsoever.
Tyree.
I don't believe if you go down the list, I don't believe there's not one person that I ever wrestled would say that they hate working with me.
Oh no, I've never heard anything bad said about you. Actually, honestly,
I
and I
know.
did the business of shoot interviews.
Yeah, they ain't gonna say shit bad about me because I mean I'm just real now. Excuse me. I understand the business. If I'm working in there with somebody that's only been wrestling for 3 months, I'm not gonna go out there and dog them out and beat the shit out of them. I always try to elevate my opponents. They nervous, I tell them relax. I got you.
Now, I don't know if you follow WWE still, but Tyree wants to know how you think WWE is treating Mickie James right now, which I don't even know. I don't watch it either.
I don't know. I don't follow it. I try to watch the girls' matches. I do try to keep up with the girls' matches, but shit, it's been months since I've watched one of them. You know, shit. You get caught up with life, man. Life takes over. You know, I'm trying to do my own damn thing.
Catherine Dixon is asking if you ever considered MMA. I know your husband did it for a while.
No, I ain't doing no MMA. For what? I make good money wrestling. Shit. I ain't trying. Nope, I don't need that.
And is there any action figures of yours that you keep? Somebody's asking on here.
That's one thing WWE did me wrong. They never put my fucking action figure out. Never did. They never
Well,
put it out.
really, I didn't even know that.
That's one. That's. If you ask me anything I can say bad about them, that's one thing I would always say. They fucked me over by not putting my action figure out. Why? I don't know. They flew me in just to do it. They was like, your action figure is in high demand. We got to get you in here today. You know, kept me on the road a day extra for that shit. You know, and had me go through all that, and then they didn't put it out.
There's been a few people on here that want to know your thoughts on Awesome Kong.
Oh, I love Kia. I love her. I actually brought her into Louisiana some years back, and we tagged. Yes, and I thought, man, like, why wouldn't anybody book me and her to wrestle each other? Like, why wouldn't Vince McMahon do that? Why wouldn't Impact do that? Like, how huge would that have been?
Did you ever have
That
any
would have been
thoughts
money
about
in the bank.
Impact, by the way? Speaking of that, did Impact ever try and bring
Huh?
you in? Did Impact ever try to bring you in?
Yeah. Yes, I was in contact with Impact. Actually, I had just found out I was pregnant, so I had to turn it down.
Oh,
I
that's
had
too
just
bad.
found out I was pregnant, and Tara Taylor was reaching out to me as I'm taking the pregnancy test. I was like, dude, I just took one pregnancy test. It said I was pregnant. Shit, give me a date, and I got to take a few more, and I get back with you. And I called him back. I was like, yeah, it's a done deal. I'm pregnant. So he was like, so what you need? About a year? I was like, I don't know. Fuck, maybe a year. I don't know. But after that, you know, I didn't pursue it anymore because I didn't want to just be on the road constantly, you know, like that's why I never really tried to pursue really getting back on TV. I could have, but I didn't. Like, I was a mom, you know, it's like I wanted to be a mom. So
Robert wants.
I chose a regular life. Go get a job and fucking go to work every day.
Well, regular life, but you have your accomplishments, and as you said, certain accomplishments that nobody can ever take away from you. So,
They can never. It's in black and white, baby. They can never take it away.
Robert wants to know if you have a copy of your WWE Women's Championship.
Yes, I do.
Did you like your theme music? Richard is asking.
At first, I didn't, and then Rodney was telling me how badass it was, and but it took me a while to get used to it. But you know what? Still today, if on the indies, if they don't have music for me, I just tell them fuck use that. You know, I
What are your
tap out to
thoughts
it.
on Triple H?
I really have no thoughts. I mean, he's all right. You know, I'm sure he's different now, but back then, you know, he was just shit. He was just one of the boys. Of course, we knew he had power, but he was Stephanie's boyfriend. Shit, that's what he was when I was there. He was just Stephanie's boyfriend.
What are your thoughts on what happened to China? Because unfortunately, that whole switch with Triple H ended up leading to her unfortunate downfall.
Yeah, I got to meet her once when WWF brought me in. She was there. She was like in the back of catering. Everybody was getting dressed at the time, and she was like in a corner all by herself. Just you can tell she was down and out, and, And I didn't know she was on her way out. Fuck, I didn't know. I'm just visiting. And I went to go shake her hand and shit, and she fucking blew me off. So I was like, well, damn, well, fuck you too. So ever since then, I was like, boy, that's somebody I wish I would have wrestled. China. I would have embarrassed that bitch. Oh my God. Yes.
What were your thoughts on Shawn Michaels backstage? Was he polite to you?
Yeah. Yes. Everybody was polite. Like, I don't recall anybody just being, I'm going to tell you, a standoffish person was Stone Cold, you know, but, he still would say hi, but, he's kind of just in his own world. He was always with the top guys in their corner, shooing and laughing and bullshitting. But he was cool. And Deborah, oh my God, Deborah and I now I still chit chat with her every now and then. Just to say hello. And if we see each other out at a signing or something, we always try to have a drink or something together. So it's nothing but love there with Deborah. But Stone Cold with Austin,
Did she ever
because
tell
I
you
heard
what
he was a
happened
racist
there?
prick. I heard Austin was a racist prick, so I ain't got too much to say to him anyway.
Is that from Deborah or is that from his other wife?
I didn't know his other wife. There's just stories that I've been told.
Yeah, there was something in his Janie wife's book that he hung out with people that used the N word, and it made her uncomfortable. But she didn't say that he actually used it, but she
Yeah,
didn't like people.
yeah. I was once told that he was pissed off at Deborah because she was hanging out with one of the Spurs players, one of their wives, and of course the player was black. And he wasn't fond of that. She was a in-earth lover.
Did Deborah ever tell you the real story there with what happened with her in Austin? Whatever it was, it appears it was settled.
Yes, but that's her business, and I can't. I'm not going to discuss her business.
What were your thoughts on Ahmed Johnson?
I never got to meet him. Never got to meet him.
Now, as far as the Undertaker, did he get along with him backstage?
Yeah, he was a nice guy. Again, see, this is the thing with being backstage. You see these people doing catering when they first get there. This hello, hey, how you doing? But once you're done eating, everybody's doing their own thing, trying to get prepared for TV. You ain't got time to sit back there and hold too many conversations. Shit. And then being one of the girls, you got to do hair, makeup, make sure your costume is right. Make sure you got to get your match together. Shit, you ain't got time to do a lot of conversating back there, especially if you're working. Now, if you ain't working, then you got all damn day to sit back there and hold all the conversations you want to. But if you working on TV, you ain't got time for that shit. And it's not too many times I was there and not working, so I ain't have time to go around and see who's nice and who's this and who's that. Shit, I had business to take care of.
Yeah, you don't know. I know from my own wrestling career, you really don't know who's nice behind your back in wrestling. Everyone's nice to your face in wrestling.
Exactly. Because everybody's smiling right there, shaking your hand. Hey, hey, but again, like you said, you've never heard anybody say anything bad about me, so
No.
fuck.
Or your husband for that matter, which is rare in wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but
Any
you know
chance
what? We
we're
were told that Johnny Ace told us that we were too nice. He did tell us that. He said you're too nice. He said, "How you think Sean got his big break?" He told us that.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess you got to be a bit of a. There's a lot of people that are asshole backstabbers, like I've experienced with
Yeah,
guys
you
like
gotta be a
him.
backstabber. But it's like if my work can't speak for itself, then you know
Now, as far as your kids, are you going to see them? Are we ever going to see them in the business to wrap this up?
they're talking about it. Of course, their dad. That's what he wants. And if that's what they want, then I'm for it. We'll be there to train them and prepare them for this journey. But I just want them to do something, whatever the hell they want to do. Just focus on and work at it and try to be the best at it. Just whatever they choose.
Did Billy Corgan treat you well working with him in NWA?
Yep, I had a good experience with NWA. It's just I was going through some shit, man, during that time. I lost both parents within like 2 or 3 months apart. And I didn't even have time to mourn. I didn't have time. I couldn't even shed a tear. I didn't have time to do that. And I think all that just kind of broke my body down, and my body just was starting to shut down on me. And I was having all kind of medical issues behind that shit. And that's what happened with that. I just had to like just give him the title back. Like I couldn't do it any longer. Fuck, I had to, focus on my health.
Jay wants to know your thoughts on JBL.
JBL, him and oh my god, JBL was cool with me. Him and oh shit, oh my, why can't I think of anybody's name? Ron Simmons, shit. Him and Ron, they used to always tease me when I first got there. They was like, yeah, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. And they was like, we're gonna see how long gonna change. She's gonna be like the rest of them. She's gonna change. They used to always rip me about that. But I never changed. I'm still the same damn person I was back then. I am today. Before I even went to WWE, I am who I am.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us because I know you're incredibly busy. Is there anything you'd like to plug to wrap this up? Your wrestling school?
Yes, I want to tell everybody to go follow. I just finally got the handle for our wrestling school on Twitter. It's Dog Pound Dojo for life. Please go follow as DP Dojo 4L. Please follow. And of course, I'm still on Twitter. Phenom underscore Jazz, Phenom underscore Jazz, Twitter. Facebook is my shoot name, Carlene Begno. I don't do Instagram because I don't have time to take pictures and shit all the time. So I'm Facebook and Twitter. If you want to reach out to me, hit me up on Facebook and Twitter.
Excellent. Well, everybody do that. And I really appreciate everything you've done, you and your husband, in the last few weeks, taking the time to talk with me. I'll let you wrap it up here with any message you want to give the fans to close this off.
Nothing in general. Just I appreciate everybody always supporting Jazz. Unfortunately, Jazz career is pretty much over with now. I wanted to actually do a tour, a retirement tour, but then the damn pandemic came along and messed that up. So we're just gonna play it by ear for right now. So you never know. I may announce some dates here in the next few months to see how this pandemic is gonna play out once we get surpast the damn flu season. That's gonna bring some other shit, to the world. But just keep your ears open, man, and listen out, see what we got going on. I appreciate